welcome back to Reactions That Rock. I am Seth, a former radio DJ in the rock and roll world. Now, a guy bringing you brand new music that he's never heard before, in most cases. This is a retro reaction, and this is something we're doing that's a little bit different. I'm going to try to do these every Sunday, if the gods of the copyright laws allow it. Anyway, what a retro reaction is here on Reactions That Rock is a song I have heard before. Everything else I'm going in blind. Retro reactions are songs that I've heard before, and they have some type of a significance to me, where I pull them up and I'm going to listen to them again and see if they still hold up, if the feeling I had when I used to listen to it still hits me today. And all of these will come with a bit of a story and a reaction. These will be the only videos that I put chapters on, so if you want to skip the story and get straight to the music, you can do that. Or vice versa, if you like stories but don't care for the music, it's story time with Seth, so here we go. Kottonmouth Kings have albums against anti-corporations, pro-weed. That's basically the content of a Kottonmouth King album. Anti-corporation, pro-weed. If I remember correctly, all of their songs are about weed. Like, not all of them, like 86% of their songs contain weed references, are about smoking weed, eating weed, growing weed, whatever you do with weed. But this was late 90s, early 2000s in Huntington Beach, California, where if you don't surf or skate, you smoke. It just makes sense, right? So, the Kottonmouth Kings were kind of quasi-rap. They were that kind of South California sound that does cross over to the rock world, but not well. However, when this song Bump was released, their record company, which I believe was Suburban Noise at the time, was smart enough to cut like 8 different versions of this song. They have a rock remix, they had a rap remix, they had a top 40 mix, they went pretty much everywhere but country. And some of them even moved the verses and the choruses around and swapped verse 2 for verse 1. Like, they dug deep and really put effort into manufacture a song for the market that they were shipping this out to. And I've got to give them huge credit for that. The downfall, of course, was when you try to find the song, you realize there's multiple versions of it, and maybe you're not getting the version you want. So I had to dig a little bit here to make sure that I got the rock remix, because this one hits a little bit harder than the other ones do, and that's what I liked about it. It's basically a song about the Huntington Beach, California lifestyle, and putting some 15-inch speakers in the back of your hoopty. Which, if you don't know what that means, kids, 1990s, early 2000s, it's what everybody wanted to do. The rock guys, the rap guys, the weird bossa nova music dudes, the ska guys, everybody was putting 15s in the back of their cars if they had the money. We're talking 1988 Cutlass Supremes, jacked up with thousands of dollars worth of audio equipment. And yes, it still happens today. I'm not going to throw Honda Civics under the bus here, but they're driving themselves right under anyway. So, the story that goes along with this, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Kottonmouth Kings came to town. We had just started playing the song, and of course, when you start playing the song, you try to get the band in town. This was what we called a Lodo show. I think tickets were $4.99 to check out the Kottonmouth Kings with their opening band, Linkin Park. Nobody had heard of Linkin Park at that time. If you want to check out that story, it's up there. But, so they bring Linkin Park to town. Nobody knows Linkin Park. Again, I've already got a story about that. Kottonmouth Kings comes through town. Nobody knows anything about them. Nobody knows who they are. They're a little bit weird. They have this guy in like a bank robber mask, like just hanging out on stage with the band while they perform. He's like 6'8", and he's just a jacked dude. Before the doors opened to the venue, all these guys wanted to do, it was a bar show. They were playing in a small club. All these guys wanted to do was play the pinball machine. There was one pinball machine in this place, and these guys were begging anybody that would listen to for quarters, which was kind of funny. It's like, you got a song on national radio, bro. You don't have a couple quarters to your own name. And they weren't even making change. They weren't like, hey, here's $10, go get us quarters. They were like, does anybody have any quarters? Which was a little bit odd. I don't know if Suburban Noise is still in business, but you probably should have hooked your boys up with some quarters. Also, that being said, the other thing they wanted to do the entire time was just stare at my wife's chest, and I mean unapologetically, like constantly non-stop. I'm pretty sure 2 or 3 of the guys in the band asked if they could touch her, which was really, really sweet and nice. Needless to say, I work for the radio station that brought them to town, so I have to be a nice guy. I can't, start throwing fists with Cottonmouth Kings, especially the 6'8" dude wearing the ski mask whose face I can't even see, who's got the biggest blunt I've ever seen in my life just hanging out of the corner of his mouth. You can't be throwing fists at that dude. But needless to say, it made for what I think is an interesting story if I were to take maybe another 10 minutes to tell it in its entirety. But I know half of you to 90% of you are going to drop off if I do that. So without further ado, I'm going to get into it. This is a retro reaction. This is Bump from the Cottonmouth Kings. If you've skipped this in the chapters, it's going to start right now. Did I mention I love the video?
Bum, bum. That's the sounds of the 50s while they hitting in my trunk. Said bum, bum, bum. With a Cottonmouth Kings and we don't give a fuck.
I was living my life on a 9 to 5, up early in the morning trying to survive on chump change. It's a shame with no education, no inspiration, no destination. But now my occupation is to do what I like, keep the crowd moving and rock the mic. Cause if I don't rock it, then another sucker will. And if you don't chuck it, then I can't pay the bill. Come on, bump, bump, bump. That's the sounds of the 50s while they hitting in my trunk. Said bump, bump, bump. We're the Cottonmouth Kings and we don't give a f. Said bump, bump, bump. That's the sounds of the 50s while they hitting in my trunk. Said bump, bump, bump. I'm that pig that the talk about. Saints what they shout, you got all the clout. A day in the life of a Cottonmouth King, 1605. Oh, pass me the ring. Trip Daddy X threw me out on stage. Says Saint represent for the underage. Same damn year my face is up in rage. Got that ring in my nose label 16 gauge. Nah, Saint dog, I hunt ducks with the so when I'm on the stage, it's like get real. Get me on the court, my skills, I'll put you in a maze. TTT, ticket to twine all day. Come on, bump, bump, bump. That's the sounds of the 50s while they hitting in my trunk. Said bump, bump, bump. We're the Cottonmouth Kings and we don't give a f. Said bump, bump, bump. That's the sounds of the 50s while they hitting in my trunk. Said bump, bump, bump. We're the Cottonmouth Kings and we don't give a f. Said bump, bump, bump. That's the sounds of the 50s while they hitting in my trunk. Said bump, bump, bump.
The most powerful and feared man in the music business.
For the record, that guy was really, really insanely tall. And was staring right down my wife's shirt the whole time we talked to them.
If you chill with me, I'll be sure to. It's about time to compute your math, cause my beats keep bumping like a seismograph. And like Mickey Mantle, I can switch my stance. I'm a supercharged baller that's electrically in hand. My flows will still be soft like I write in my lotion. And I will lyricist, that's poetry in motion. To each I'm kind of commotion. Cast a spell like money, take it off for my portion. Farewell to all and to all good night. I'll leave you these beats to crit out all night. Wait, you say crit? That will shut you up. Get off the crit, and ride the ball. Come on.
Bump, bump, bump. Okay, I do have to pause it at least somewhere in the song, or the copyright gods will scream at me and tear this down. This came to my mind just the other day because Saint, who was 16 years old, I don't think that's Saint. Saint was the one with the nose pierced, which in the late 90s, early 2000s was not common at all. But Saint, who was 16 years old when this video was made, unfortunately passed away a couple of weeks ago. And I read that on one of the trade magazines, and I was like, "Aw, that's sad. I remember them. That was a good time." And it was, despite everything I said about them being a little a little cheap and a little creepy. It was a good time. This was a party band. The drummer used to actually have his drum set hooked up on a lowrider tricycle and would be riding around the stage playing the drums. It was fun. They were a fun band. And there was a very distinct fragrance in the air at every single one of their shows. And yes, there have been more than one that I have seen. So that's that. But let's fire it right back up, let it roll out, and then we'll wrap this up.
Bump, bump, that's the sounds of the 50s while they hitting in my trunk. Said bump, 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 we're the Cottonmouth Kings and we don't give a said bump, 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 that's the sounds of the 50s while they hitting in my trunk. Said bump, 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 we're the Cottonmouth Kings and we don't give a said bump, 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 that's the sounds of the 50s while they hitting in my trunk. Said bump, 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 we're the Cottonmouth Kings and we don't give a.
All right, that was the politely edited for radio version where they removed words like 12 gauge and the F word. 1999. Oh, what a good year for music. Even bad music was good in 1999. And this was actually enjoyable in 1999. Here's where I sit right here in 2023. This could have been written and come out today, and it still kind of feels current to me. Maybe I'm just old and I don't listen to current music, but this doesn't feel that far removed from some of the music that I'm hearing out today. Especially, you're listening to the bass mix. And again, I had mentioned that there were like 8 different versions of this song. I don't remember this version having that dude dancing in the middle of it with a little weird breakdown. But it was nice because it gave me a chance to point out the dude who was just staring down my wife's shirt the whole time and was like walking after her, like cupping his hands, hoping to get some. So there's that going on for it. You know, I love when I have an illustration to a point I'm trying to make. To me, this song is fun. It still holds up. I've got the Evo Crusher headphones on, courtesy of Skull Candy, and these things have a bass boost on the back here, and I have it cranked up to 11, and this thing is just shattering my brain in the most delightful ways. So there's that. I enjoy it. This has been fun. A nice trip down memory lane with a story. I'm not going to get too deep into analytics of the song or whatever it is, what it is, but hopefully maybe I brought you something you've never heard before or brought you on a trip down memory lane too. Either way, it's been fun. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. More retro reactions to come. That's going to be an older song that I've heard before that has meaning in my life and a story to go with it. Go ahead and hit those thumbs up if you've enjoyed this. Subscribe if you want to hear more of these awesome reactions that rock that we've got coming up, or if you like the retros and you want to take a trip down memory lane with me. Come on, let's go. And until we see each other again, rock and roll.